Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Zach, the gaming husband, and today we're starting a new series called ARK, Mobile Bases. In today's episode we're having a look at my Battle Bronto design, and we're also going to have a look at the prospect of a Paracer wall. I'm not sure if this is going to be very effective, but we'll find out. What we've gone for here is a really aggressive build. I've seen a lot of other people building the Battle Brontos with like walls down the side or trying to protect the body or the tail, and honestly I don't think it's worth it. I don't think you're actually going to be able to get any defense from that. What I do think is better is going like I've done here and having mass offense. So in this case I really think the best defense is a great offense. Having more of the auto turrets and some of the plant turrets there should be enough to really defend against most enemies. Brontos are great because you can actually build quite a bit on top of their saddles. A lot of other dinos that you can build on, really you can't get much on there at all. You see here I've got enough for 8 turrets, the Jenny in it, all the walls, there's plenty of space, heaps of room overall. Having the auto turrets lets us defend against the missiles, the rockets. Inside this one here I've got a fab and the generator. One single cable runs up to the roof, and that's enough. You know, we don't need more than that. Fab's actually really handy because it means if we're out and about, all we've got to do is get some metal in there, we can build what we want, repair what we need to repair. Now that they've moved metal armor, flak armor, to the smithy, it might be beneficial to have one of those maybe instead, but it really depends on what gear you're using. The other thing I'd like to do in here, and perhaps I'll do it now, is if we drop in a couple of ceilings here. So I can't drop in any, so I've reached the end. What I will put in here is a bunk bed, and that way we can just spawn from this place. It's nice and enclosed. On the ceiling there, I've also got a rocket launcher turret. So the reason I went for this over more turrets and things is this can do some serious work to a base, and pretty serious work to quetzes and things as well. So if you're fairly late into the game, so you're pretty well built up, this might be a decent way to spice up your rating a little bit. Gives you the option of actually hitting things pretty hard and defending the Bronto. I chose to put these guys on catwalks, these auto turrets on catwalks, because basically this allows us to shoot down. So it means that I can defend right up to the body, or pretty much right up to the body of the Bronto. So if someone comes at me with dinos or something, we should be able to defend. Now, in looking at this, you can clearly see that there is a weakness, and that is the Bronto itself. Relatively high level Brontos have a lot of health. If you can get a decent saddle on there, you're pretty much golden. It's going to take some pretty high level dinos to actually kill it. If you put it on neutral, it's actually going to be able to defend itself. And if you arm these turrets up with enough ammo, you'll shred through most dinos pretty quickly. Having said that, now that I've seen this and I built it, I was pretty interested to kind of see how I could turn this into a fully mobile base. So I designed some Paracers to kind of defend it. I made a Paracer wall, and I'll show you that now. So as you can see here, my Paracer wall is actually quite lengthy. It's 13 Paracers long. Each Paracer is covered from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. And they're also protected by plant turrets, each one having 2 plant turrets on top of it. It's really quite a helpful, seeing as when you sprint, they back up to each other when they stop. So I've got one following the next, and so on and so forth. So basically they're following the one in front, and it keeps them in a nice long string. When we sprint, they sprint the last little length behind that they are, and they end up with their head, basically I think it's somewhat on top of the next one's butt, and this allows them to kind of close in all the gaps. As you can see, in a straight line they're super effective at kind of blocking off. Now we'll wrap them up around my Bronto and we'll see how they fit. So I hear you saying, Zach, why did you use the Paracer and not the Bronto? Brontos are obviously superior. They have more health, they're larger, they can put more on their saddles. And you're right. But what I found was that with a Bronto, you can't possibly cover its head. You can't possibly cover all of its tail. So I went for a design with the Paracers that allows them to kind of protect each other. Their heads will stick out, yeah, sure. But you can see here, and if you're closing the wall properly, that basically all of the time, the dinos are pretty much covered, right? That's the key part of this. Sure, you can get it from the inside, but that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to prove that you could make a wall with the Paracer. That's, I mean, kind of viable. I've got enough space here to, you know, run around on top. I've got some plant turrets to deter people. All of these guys have got enough health and a bit of armor from their saddle. If I was super keen, I could have changed some of these panels out for these wall panels for window frames, so I could shoot out of them. They'll follow each other like head to tail directly, and I mean, they're Paracers. They're pretty easy to maintain. They don't take much. They eat some berries and that's about it. They're reasonably quick, not super quick. They're more mobile than the Brontos, and basically that's why I think this is effective. You'll see it didn't take much to build it. 3 platforms across, 1 ceiling. To get these other walls hanging down the side here, that requires a few ceilings out the side of the platforms, and then you can drop some ceilings down from that. Once those have been built, once the walls have been built from the ceilings, you can actually just delete the ceilings. They're not necessary anymore. We can build down right to the ground. So, you know, we're at the bottom of a hill here, so the slope is actually exposing a bit more of the gap than usual, but it's still basically nothing. And for most of these Paracers, it's going to be at the ground. You know, like, it's going to be a pretty long shot to actually get in there. Paracers as a string, like one following the next, can actually maintain their formation pretty well. Jumping from one to the next to get one to follow the next is a bit of a pain, But on a server that's always on, that's not a problem. And if you've got these guys on passive, they're pretty much not going to move at any stage anyway, so unless you're around moving them, it doesn't matter. So yeah, these guys are pretty decent at forming a wall. Now, the problem I've got is that I've got plenty of plant turrets, but they don't have auto turrets. And the Bronto is great, and he's, I mean, aggressively fine, I guess, but as a base, not particularly effective. Hodo took my my battle Bronto into battle against the Egyptians on our Valhalla server. I'm not sure if he's going to put up footage of that, but he took it in and basically got ambushed by some Quetzes, and he was done. Quetzes are way too powerful at the moment. The meta of ARK is just basically if you have the best Quetzes or the most Quetzes, you win. And there's not a lot that can be done about that until the devs decide to nerf the Quetz a little bit. Making them a bit easier to damage with ammo, with simple ammo or bullets and that kind of thing would be pretty good. I think some kind of damage multiplier there would probably balance that back out. I mean, yeah, low level Quetz will get nailed by auto turrets, but if you can't really do anything against an army of Quetzes, and that kind of takes the fun out of the game. Alright guys, thanks for watching the first episode of Mobile Bases. That was a heap of fun to make. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, get subscribed, leave a like, let me know down below what you'd like to actually see, and hopefully I'll get some more out to you soon. As always, my name's Zach, the Gaming Husband, and I'll see you next time.